No, it's nice to meet you, Joe.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Unscripted, right? Welcome, everybody, to the Sales Unscripted podcast. My name is Brian Neal.
And I'm Margaret Henney.
We're still live. Clap again. We're still live.
Still
We found
here.
other people that want to be on our podcast, so we're here. Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're having so much fun. I think we're going to do this again. Maybe we'll do it at the Super Bowl.
How'd you get this
What?
set up, by the way? This is sick.
We paid for it. Yeah. We paid, exactly. It's really expensive.
That's how that works?
It's
Okay.
really
Good,
expensive.
good.
Yes. Yeah, I had to lug all this shit in my car and everything, and then we pay for the thing. But it's really, really awesome. But so because we're unscripted,
Yeah.
we grab people out of the audience to talk to, and we have someone that I think is famous in our midst, Joey Mulinaro, who is an online comedic sensation.
Oh,
I think
thanks.
You follow him.
That's
really,
very
really
nice.
great.
It's very nice.
Has a 7-figure Twitter follower. Is that it?
No, not yet.
Almost getting
Almost.
there. Almost.
Dang, let's go.
But native Hoosier and really funny, is known for some really famous impersonations. He was in the neighborhood in the Motor Speedway. I said, will he come on our podcast? And he said yes, which is also really cool.
Thanks for
because
being
the guy's got
game.
a lot to do. So we were thinking, okay, what are we going to ask an online comedian
Sure.
for a sales podcast? What should we talk about? I want to talk about personal branding because you're in the world. I mean, it's your brand. And take us through when you first started, because I think a lot of people with personal branding don't have the guts to start. So if it's a podcast, let's say, or a video, or those of you like co-video, people are afraid to do their first video. Margaret,
Totally,
aren't they?
100%,
And here's
yeah.
my little thing on that. So people say, what's the number one the reason people say, I don't want to do a podcast? Because they don't like what?
Sound of their
How
They
voice.
don't like the
sound,
sound of
yep,
their voice. You know what? And
exactly.
they don't want to do a video because
They
I
don't
don't
like the way they
how I
look.
look. And you know what I say? Dude, that's how you look, and that's how you sound. So you might just want to stay in the basement because it's the real deal. Like nothing looks or sounds any different to the rest of us, you know? But getting over that. So I want to talk about how you started and how you maybe got over that resistance early on in your career as a young comedian.
I found the mute button on Twitter, and it worked out really, really well. You know, a few blocked words that I don't want to see. But no, hey, you got to get over the fear of failure. You know, I think that applies to sales. I think it applies to, you know, every part of life, you know, parenthood, relationships, whatever it is, especially when you're creating content online or you're going up on stage, you're doing shows. Sometimes you're going to eat shit, and you just got to accept that, you know? Sometimes people are going to tell you no in the sales world, and you just got to pick up the phone and go again.
I've never heard it in terms of eat shit, though, for
But that's
salespeople.
exactly what it's like.
The whole
You're
audience
like, I just ate shit.
Yeah.
They're all taking notes, like, eat shit.
Eat
That's
shit.
what it is. Right there.
Yeah.
That's what,
There
thank
you
very
go.
much.
I'm glad.
So
Good.
how did it all start? So, you know, you talk to comedians, and you're always like, so were you funny? Like, how did this all
Yeah,
start?
yeah.
Everyone always wants to know how
Were
it
you the
started.
class clown?
Totally, yeah. So how
Yeah.
did it start for you?
Actually, I wasn't the class clown. I was too afraid to get in trouble. You know, my mom, she was ready to go if I was bringing home a bad conduct grade. You know, Clint knows what I'm talking about. But I grew up and I always had that like feel of, you know, my dad and my grandpa, my uncle. You know, I was always like, if I could make them laugh, that like made my day, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
at Christmas or something, if I get a laugh out of them, that was a $1,000,000 feeling, you know? And so then when I was in college and I was like studying sports broadcasting and being on the radio or whatever, I was like, yeah, this is good, but like I still kind of got that itch, you know? And then I took this class called Writing for Television, and I thought it was going to be this thing where you like write boring news stories of like, you know, 3 people dead on the east side. Not that that's boring. That's a bad example. That's tragic. That's not boring. Boring would be like...
Click.
Yeah, exactly. So
funny.
I took this class, and it wasn't that. It was how to write comedy for television, like
Cool.
sketches and scripts for TV shows. And it was literally like a light bulb moment. I was like, to my professor, I literally asked him, I was like, wait, people get paid to do this? He was like, yeah, you know, if you're good enough, and like, yeah, it's a job. And I was like, I mean, we grew up in Indiana. It's
Yeah.
like, what? No, David Letterman's the only person that ever like made it in entertainment.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it just wasn't like a real thing to me. And then from there, I just started like weaving my way in of like, that's what I want to do. I want to make people laugh. I want to bring joy to the world. And that was kind of the purpose, passion that I found, and I just kept going after it.
That's awesome. As salespeople, I think sometimes finding that thing in our jobs is hard to do. It's like, what do you do? Like, I'm just a salesperson. And to be able to tap into that early on, I also think there's this element, we talk about this even with deals, to burn the boats. Like, you know, you didn't say like, well, there's no dabbling Like I don't
Yeah.
people know me. We don't dabble. We're all in, right?
Sure.
And with that comes the fear of like, holy shit, if this doesn't go well, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that I would talk to because I went to school for communications, and there was obviously some people who were kind of interested in like that entertainment comedy type of field, but they would have like their day job, and they'd be like, yeah, well I'm gonna do this and get myself set up, and like maybe I'll tap into that, and I was like, I have no money at all. I was like, I'm making videos that like 8 people retweet. Nobody cares. I have no money, but I was like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going for it, And I just kept my head down, just cracking away for like 3-4 years. You know what I mean? So
Awesome. And then at what point were you like? I even read an article that you said someone asked you, what was your holy shit moment? Like, this is real. What was that moment where you're like, dang, I can do this. I can actually do this. Because salespeople all have that. You get a new sales job or switch companies. You're like, can I do this? And you get the first sale. Like, I can do this. What was yours?
And the holy shit moment where it was like, whoa, do people like know me? I got a message from Jimmy Fallon on Twitter.
way.
And I had gotten COVID. This is 2020, and I had gotten COVID, and I tweeted about just how because then it was like 2020. I mean,
You were dead.
You got to take care of shit. Yeah, hey, I'm down and out for a little bit. Just want everybody to know this stuff is for real. And I wake up the next morning and I got a message from Jimmy, and he's like, Hey, are you okay, man? Like, how are you feeling? Are you doing okay? And I was like, holy shit, I'm okay now. You messaged me. This is insane. And I said, yeah, man, I'll be all right. I appreciate it. He said, let me know if there's anything I can do. We need funny people in the world. And I was like, you think I'm funny? Holy cow, that's crazy. So that was a really big moment. Yeah.
That's thick. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I love that. That's so developing, because we were talking a little bit about personal branding.
Yeah.
Did you have like, okay, I want to be like this. This is kind of like who I'm modeling myself after, or were you just like, I am me.
Sure.
This is what I think is funny, and I'm gonna be like just genuine about that, or was there like something that you're like, this is the kind of comic I want to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think that applies to again everything in life. Really, is like you have to have your influences, right?
Sure.
People that you admire, you respect, that you want to base yourself off of, and then once you have that base foundation. I have an 8-month-old son, right? So it's like you go to parenting. It's like, okay, I want to take this from my parents, and I want to leave this from my parents over here.
Little shed, big truck.
Right, and then I want to be this kind of dad from them, and then I want to leave that over there and not be that dad. And it was the same with comedy, and I think it applies to sales and people you look up to and whatever walk of life. But it was these different influences. Adam Sandler, Jimmy Fallon, Dana Carvey. Bill Hader, all these kind of guys, and Frank Caliendo, and then from there it was like, okay, now I'm gonna try to pigeonhole into what, spit all that out into Joey.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
So-
Joey. So can you talk about practice a little bit? Salespeople hate to practice. True? My audience,
Hate
yes,
it.
they hate to practice. They like to practice during the game. I'm a wannabe. I've always one of my bucket list things is to go do an open mic night for comedy. I've never tried, but I want to do that someday.
I think it'd be good,
So I
man.
wanna
You're
try.
killing it right now.
Hey,
man.
I think we
You're
just
doing great.
decided right now that
Yeah.
you should do that. You
No,
just
it's-
told a bunch
no.
of people.
Well, I will.
So-
Here's the question, though. When I talk to my friends who are in comedy, the more I learn about it, the more it's formulaic. It's an art and it's a craft. You don't just stand up there and shtick, like, that kind of stuff. Can you talk about practice and how you practice so that these people can say, well, gosh, if a comedian practices, I can surely practice it.
Yeah, I write every day. I write every day, whether it's a new bit that I'm riffing on or a sketch or developing a character. And then that's the real fun is I go into my basement and talk to myself, in front of a camera.
Yes.
Whether it be with a mic and I'm, imagining a crowd out there doing my act, or I literally have a camera and I'm doing somebody else's voice. So if you talk to yourself in different voices in your basement, I don't judge you. It's all good because I do it too. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a daily thing because, Jay Farrow, he was on SNL, big comedian and impressionist, and he was talking about how, even with impression people, like if you don't if you don't scratch that muscle, if you don't work out that muscle, your impression won't be the same.
Yes.
So it's not, and like you mentioned, like people just think, and I thought for a while, comedians, they go up there and they're just, talking about whatever's going on.
Right.
No, it's very calculated.
Yes.
The good ones at least, every word is planned, practiced, written out, bam, bam, bam.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Salespeople hearing this, like when you're in a sales call, we're having questions. To us, man, everything matters. The tone matters, the inflection matters, the pause matters, all that stuff matters. And I don't think we do enough service to ourselves to practice this and to create practice culture.
And Brian and I, we actually talk about this too. We encourage people to practice just like that, not necessarily in your basement. I mean, if you want to, that's cool.
Mirror works. We do a lot of mirror work.
In front of a mirror on camera. We do it on Zoom, right? We talk about hey, record that,
yourself.
Go back, watch it, listen to it, have it recorded. Like Gong is a great tool that people will use to like see, hey, what my talk time is like, what my pacing is like. Like it's really fascinating to get it really tight, almost like a stand-up bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So last thing I want to know, two things. The first question I want to know, if either Nick Saban or Coach Holtz were here, what motivational tidbit or nugget would you give to these salespeople who are always trying to improve themselves?
Well, I got to tell you, that practice makes absolutely perfect. That's why I told my players up at the University of Notre Dame, if you want to go out there to beat up on the floor in Alabama, you got to practice, and practice makes perfect, just like everybody out there in the sales universe.
Cheers on that. That's just so good. Thank you.
I haven't pulled the Holtz out in a while. That's great.
That was really, really great.
Thank you.
And the tweets are just phenomenal. The Blue Holtz tweets are phenomenal. Now here, this is on the spot a little bit. What's one impression that you are yearning for that's not quite there? You don't even have to do it for us, but something like, I'd love to find my way into this person, this character.
Man, I'll stay local. Peyton Manning.
Oh my gosh.
That he's everywhere. Obviously,
really
and then
Children's Hospital.
He's with the Papa John's. Right. He's with the General. I think. I don't know. He's
General.
Everybody's with the General. Peyton would be a big one that I think if I could get. But it's tough, man. That drawl he's got and the twang and it's a tough one. I have practiced in the basement many times and it's just not clicking yet. But we'll keep cracking at it.
Stay tuned, right? The Peyton thing for me is the nodding. He's got that kind of nod sort of thing. The side of his mouth is always ready to talk. He's always going. This is like.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
It's fantastic.
Can I plug one thing real quick?
Please.
That's why you're here, yes.
Awesome. Well, appreciate everybody. I hope you guys all have a blast out here today and learned a lot. I do have a show coming up to kick off race weekend. Would love to have everybody there. May 25th at the Vogue, the legendary Vogue in Broad Ripple. We're kicking off race weekend. We're going to have Willie Griswold from the Bob and Tom Show. Ben Polizzi, my comedy partner. He's going to be there. Clayton Anderson, the country music artist, is going to come play some tunes and hang out. A few other special guests. I'll be performing. thevogue.com. There's tickets there. Again, Thursday, May 25th. We're starting right into Carb Day, and we're keeping the party going that night.
Not going to stop. That's like a Hoosier comedy millennial Mount Rushmore right there.
Come on.
I mean, that is brilliant.
And there's some special guests that I haven't announced yet that I'm locking in, so just stay tuned. But would love to see you there. It's going to be a great night, a lot of fun.
It's Peyton Manning. All right. Hey, Joey, I can't say thanks enough, dude, for
you,
the spot.
Thank you so much.
Great to meet you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. Thanks, dude.